Welcome to Babbling Buffoons, all babbling, all buffoonery. I'm Alex.
I'm Jack. Today we're going to talk about the subject that we already had been talking about, dating in 2025 versus 1980. But I think we're going to focus more on the now in the 2020s and
Definitely.
what we see moving forward happening in dating.
I see dating's already on the decline now. I see it just going on the decline even further. I see it eventually just reaching a point to where, like, especially with like robotics and machinery, how it's going, and supposedly, countries are trying to develop like artificial wombs and whatnot. If that ends up like being true, on a side note with that, dating will just cease to exist. People will just end up being alone. Like I It'll be a terrible thing. Like, we need to get back to the old ways of reestablishing connections and actually being with people, because if not, we're just, it's going to be bad.
People and their connections, that is a thing of the past. I don't think we'll ever get back to that. I do know that dating in 2025 has led people, especially men, to go find different cultures. Not just the American culture. They're leaving that completely. They're going for Spanish, the Asian, any other culture that values family and commitment.
Well, because that's what almost every single man is just naturally wants in his life. He just wants a companion, to be with him by his side for support, for love, just simple things like that. And, just with how, like, Western society's going and whatnot, that's failing to exist. And that's why a lot of men are either staying single or, like you said, going and finding other women like that, because they still have those values of family, loyalty, being there for their man, supporting their man and whatnot. And like I said, it's the simplest things like that is just what we want. We're not asking you for the world. We're not asking you to, bend over backwards for us. Just literally stand by our side and just give us that little pat on the back and say, you're doing good. I'm proud of you.
I mean, I seen a podcast not too long ago, actually, where you had three women and two men in the podcast. And, you know, two women were from the American culture, two men were from American culture, grew up here, raised here, brought up with all of our privileges we have, I guess I should say, without touching base on some other things. But then they had somebody from South America on there. Average looking Spanish woman. She nothing absolutely gorgeous, but what made her gorgeous to me is what she told the American culture women. And was like, you may look pretty, you may do your makeup, you might do your hair, you might want to strive for more money. She goes, but our culture is going to take your men because we're going to respect them. We're going to treat them good. They're going to come home from work and we're going to make sure that everything they need is there.
Mm-hmm.
Their food, their kids, their house is clean, And I think nowadays when you're dating in our culture, women see that as I'm a slave to you versus seeing the real value that you bring to a household when you perform those kind of functions. And that's why, I mean, other cultures in other countries are more sought after than the women here.
Oh yeah, and what's crazy too is, like, even men are like willing to, like, even if they're like, look, I'll help you with a couple of these things, like, to like ease the burden, because I know you go to work, I go to work, we both do this stuff, like even like those that are willing to help out and try to ease that, women still feel like, well, why am I still doing some of it? Like, I still feel like I'm a part of you, like you own me. Like, why can't you just do all of it? I go to work, and it's like, well, I go to work too. So it's like so then it's like, at that point you're just like, okay, then why do I, if I'm going to do everything, including going to work and coming home and whatnot, why would I be in a relationship with you then, if I'm just literally going to do everything, then have to hear you about it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I had a small kid and I came home and my woman was at home all day and I worked, the house wasn't clean, the kid wasn't fed, nothing was taken care of, and all she was sitting there on her phone or on the TV watching, I said, get out. What value do you have to me?
Yeah.
You're sitting here eating my food. You're sitting here doing this and that. I mean, think about it, right? Dating's come so hard, and we, as a society, has accepted it. and that's the changes with technology.
Oh yeah, because like one thing that I constantly hear about, especially women nowadays, is they're like, men don't approach us anymore. They don't try to talk to us. They don't want to do this or do that. And the issue is the reason why is because we've for like the last 10 to 20 years we've constantly been told by women, we don't want you approaching us, we don't want you coming close to us, we don't want you trying to talk to us or whatnot. Compared to back in my day, you had to approach a woman, and women actually liked it if a man approached them and was like, hey, I know you've heard this 1,000 times, but either you're beautiful, your smile's this, just giving them a simple compliment and stuff. Women actually appreciated that and loved that because they were like, someone, a man took the time out of his day and found confidence, for one, to do that, to approach me, and then two, to give me a compliment like that, it would make their day. And then, you would feel a little bit good, even if you happen to get turned down. Am I being heard?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. My fault.
Yeah, but no. He ended up working on his relationship, and they're still together. They're happy.
That's great.
They're both giving and taking a little bit at a time, and I think that's what a lot of people. I know myself in my failed marriage is I gave up on it a little too early. I didn't apply myself to get better. She worked later than me, so I mowed the yard. I took care of the cooking the dinner. She got home. She usually did laundry, the dishes, and while that was going on, I gave our daughter a bath, got our daughter back down to bed, and yeah, simple things that I did and then stopped doing. But moving forward in our culture and the way we're going, I think more and more people are going to start doing that. They're going to start forgetting about doing little things in their dating, their married lives, and whatnot. I mean, I'm not trying to counsel anybody, but nowadays it's so easy to turn your location off on your phone if you don't want to get caught doing something, or just turn your phone off.
Well, not even that, but it's like nowadays, like, people are like disguising messenger apps as like setting apps or other things, to where even if like, people are doing that, and like, if like their partner's like, let me look through your phone, I don't trust you. Okay, here you go. They got all these things hidden and whatnot, and it makes it even more difficult and trustworthy to want to try to date someone because of that reasoning alone is all, it makes it scary. And, kind of a reason why, I'm been a little hesitant about it, because I just don't trust technology that helps people hide all this stuff nowadays.
Not even that. Most people I meet and I talk about going on a date want to use Snapchat. What are you hiding? That's exactly what I'm thinking. What are you hiding? Snapchat deletes after a while. You're hiding something.
And see, like for me, I'm so old school and whatnot. Yeah, if I were to go on one, a woman's like, what's your Snap or what's this or that? It's like, I don't use that stuff. It's
I don't
like,
even have Snap anymore.
I think I downloaded it one time just to maybe see what it was, and I was like, yeah, this is, in my opinion, this is stupid and dumb. I was like, if I want to contact you, I'm just gonna call or text you. Like, what's the point of this? If I want to send you a picture, I'm gonna send you a picture.
Yeah.
I was like, so to me, people that use that stuff to want to talk or communicate, I really don't. It's not that I wouldn't like be your friend, but I wouldn't trust to date you or anything like that, because it's like that stuff deletes after a certain amount of time.
Yep.
So it's like, you could be sending me a regular text message, but could be using your Snap to send other stuff to other people. And then say if I decide, like something don't feel right, can I look through your phone? And you're like, oh yeah, go ahead, because Snap deleted your stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you don't keep nothing anywhere else. I'm not gonna know, because I can't look through Snap's history, because they don't keep a permanent history. It fully deletes what's on there. So yeah, I'm old school. Either I'm gonna call you, I'll send you a text message, and that's basically about it.
Video chat.
Yeah, and video chat nowadays. Yeah, I forgot.
Especially if like I'm at work and you're at home and I'm on lunch. That's just video chat.
Yeah,
and it's not the fact that as a man I don't trust you sitting at home. Maybe I just want to see you. Maybe I want the interaction versus just
Well, and that's also like the other plus side too, because like growing up, like when you got to hear your significant other's voice, you felt happy, you felt great, and then
Mm.
when you actually got to see them, you actually felt relieved. Nowadays, having that FaceTime, even if you're having a bad day at work, just sometimes seeing your significant other's face, even if it's just for a brief of 5 minutes, could be all you need to just turn your whole day around and whatnot. You're like, man, they look beautiful. You know what? Rest of the day is actually gonna be a good day. I feel pretty good about myself. And you'd be surprised, like little gestures like that could change the perspective of your whole day, anyone's whole day.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you on that. I know you've probably been in your relationship where you got a surprise when you went to break or lunch,
Yeah.
and you had a little spicy picture sent to you.
Yeah, that
I mean,
made
I hate it because now I'm stuck at work thinking about that and trying to stop myself from the urge of screw this, I'm going home. Like, I hate it. Send it to me right before I leave work. So if I'm walking out to my car and I get on my phone, I see that, I was like, oh, bet I'm on my way home.
that.
But nowadays, you know, I'm not trying to be rude to anybody, but women are like, why do you want that? Now, because I want to see you. You're my girl. If you're going to send me a spicy picture while I'm on my way home, you better believe I'm getting home quicker.
Well, and see, for me, with how I am, like, if I'm in a relationship with a woman like that, I'm already gonna have those images in my head, so I'm gonna always be thinking about it and whatnot type deal. And then if she sends me that spicy pic, that just makes my day more excited because now I'm like, oh, tonight's gonna be a really good night,
Well, you hope,
type
right?
deal. Oh no, there ain't no
I mean,
hope. Like naturally, as a man, like I'm just like tonight's gonna be a good night, and I'll do whatever I have to make it a good night,
right.
and I will do what needs to be done, type deal. But I can slightly also understand in this modern era why women are more hesitant to do that because you have the OFs, you have all the leaked pictures
Yeah.
online. Men nowadays don't have the respect that they
To
do
keep it
to
private.
exactly to where, because like back in the day, if you got a picture like that, but say maybe a year or two later your girl broke up, you might keep it for your own personal reasons or whatnot, but you wouldn't go around showing your friends or stuff like that, like, hey, I'm not with her, check this out. You would still have that respect for her. Nowadays, if you date a guy and say you date for a couple years, he's got a couple pics like that, but you break off, and it could be a healthy breakup. You guys could just, for some reason, both just be like, look, we're not going nowhere, it's not working, we'll
Right.
just call it off. And for some reason, he could just all of a sudden get petty and just be like, send, and now just send your pictures to everyone out. And then now, there's no stopping it because it's going to get on the internet. And then once it hits the internet, it's game over after that. So I can honestly see why nowadays why women are a lot more hesitant to want to send pictures like that
Well, I'm not
because
talking a
of
relationship that's just started. I'm talking a relationship like if I'm married to her and everything like
it,
that, I
I
want to
can,
see it.
but I can still understand and see why because of how the internet is, how the world is with that kind of stuff, and how bad
Yeah.
it's gotten and everything. So I can understand it nowadays. 10, 20 years ago, yeah, I could see it not being so bad because the internet wasn't like it was. We didn't have the
iPhones and
well, not even that, just the websites,
Yeah.
and how search engines work and stuff like that. How easy it is to find things nowadays. We didn't have it like that. It was back in the day. So back in the day, yeah, definitely we worth the risk of sending that to your significant other. Nowadays, I can see, like I said, why they don't do it. It's too much of a chance.
So on these dating sites, right? And I'm on some. Know you've dabbled with them a little bit. If I see a girl with one picture on there, it's a complete nope. Because is this really the girl you're looking at? Is this really the girl you're talking to? If you can only get one picture, and then, dude, I also study the pictures. If I look at those pictures and it looks like three of these are on point, but that fourth one is like, nah, this ain't the right girl. Like
I know
they've
what you're
messed
talking.
up. It's somebody's there catfishing somebody, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what the way that girls see guys' pictures as well. Because I went on a date with a woman, I should say, and she told me she bypassed every picture of a man that had shirtless on or wore sunglasses because she wanted to see their eyes to see if they were real, and she got disgusted about seeing a man with his shirt off. I was like, yeah, but some of these men probably look good. She goes, oh no, they do. They're in their gym. They've worked on their body. She goes, but I don't want to see a man show his body off. And also, that's the same with men. Maybe men don't want to see pictures of you online. and your skimpy outfits or bikinis or anything showing your body off.
And
Think about it. It's a double-edged sword.
it is, and what cracks me up too about it is like, like a lot of women nowadays will like yell at their man if they like a woman's picture in something like that, in a bikini pic or, a nice sexy dress or whatnot. They get yelled at for it, but the woman could turn around and be like, oh, he's hot in that, with his shirt off, or look at his abs and stuff like that. It's like, so it's okay for you to do that, but if I do it, it's not okay. But then back to the subject of the app thing, no, I understand with the whole glasses off and stuff like that. And then even with the pictures thing, yeah, if I see one picture or even maybe up to 3, I'm still kind of hesitant, because then most of the time, if there's just only that few pictures, they look like they've been either screenshot, cropped, or had some kind of filter put on them to like boost the effect and whatnot. And then that's another thing too. If I'm scrolling through your pictures in majority, even if you have say 9 or 10, but say at least like 6 to 7 of them have little filters on them at the hearts or this or that, I'm not going to want to look or go anywhere, because that's kind of telling me you're trying to use it to maybe hide something or to like appear way more,
Yeah, what's up with filters? I don't understand. Why you got to wear filters?
because they
And
want to make
pictures.
themselves look better than what they are, to
It's not even them. That's not the person if you're using filters, because you are using technology to
enhance your beauty.
exactly. And guess what? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly.
If a man finds you attractive without those filters, then boom, they're done.
And I'm old school. Like, don't get me wrong, a woman wearing makeup can look beautiful and whatnot. But for me, I would rather see a woman without her makeup on, and then see if I see beauty in that than with makeup. Because, like I said, even the most least desired woman in the world, you throw some good makeup on it and whatnot, she could turn into one of the most beautiful things on the planet.
Absolutely. But, time is running short on this one, so
Will do.
we're probably going to cut it off here. Again, guys, love to hear your perspectives, man and woman. What do you find attractive when you're looking at pictures on people, social media? And do you use dating sites? If you do, what's your telltale signs? Just kind of interested on hearing what you have to say. Leave comment below if you want to. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the podcast. Until next time.
This has been Babbling Buffoons. All babbling, all buffoonery.